Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another Thursday morning bite-sized Buhl. My name is Kayla. I'm the staff educator in the Buhl Planetarium. Today we've got a very special tour for you lined up. We're using the program called Stellarium. This is a free software that we've used a couple times before if you're someone who's been on these live streams before. This is something that you can download at home on your phone or on your computer, and you can follow along. My settings that I have set up today, we are set up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we're set to 9 o'clock this evening. Now, today we are going to be taking a look, saying one last farewell to our winter constellations and preparing to welcome in those spring constellations. To start our tour of the sky, we're going to look towards the south. Here in Pittsburgh, because we are at 40 degrees latitude, all of the northern constellations stay pretty much the same throughout the year. So Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, we call those circumpolar constellations, which is a very fancy way to say they make a big circle around Polaris, and we'll see them all year long. To see our seasonal constellations here in Pittsburgh, we need to look to the south. Now, we are looking at our southern sky, and there is the most famous constellation. It's certainly the first constellation I learned how to find. He's shining very bright in our sky. He's very easy to spot. You just need to find the 3 stars that form his belt. This is, of course, Orion the Hunter. Now, Orion is what we call a winter constellation, which means he appears in our early evening sky in December, and then he sticks around with us until the end of March. So just a few more weeks here, and he will no longer be in our view. We'll have to wait until December to see him again in our early evening sky. Orion is home to 2 very bright and beautiful examples of stars. Located in his shoulder is a red star named Betelgeuse. You don't want to say that 3 times. And located in his knee is a blue star named Rigel. Now, when we see a star's color, we learn a little bit more about that star. We learn its temperature. Red stars are very hot. Betelgeuse is about 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit on its surface. But blue stars, like Rigel, are even hotter. Rigel is about 20,000 degrees Fahrenheit on its surface. Now, Orion is not just home to 2 very bright and beautiful examples of stars, it's also home to what we call a deep sky object. This is an object outside of our solar system that you'll spot using just your eyes. Now, to locate it, we're going to look just beneath the belt of Orion. I want you to imagine that Orion has a sheath for his sword, and it's hanging off of the middle star in his belt. Now, halfway between his belt and his knees, you will see the bottom of that sword. This is where we find the Orion Nebula. Nebula are huge collections of gas and dust in space. They can be trillions of miles across. The Orion Nebula is a stellar nursery. This is an area where little baby stars are being born. Stars are born when gas and dust gets pulled together in space. It grows more massive and hotter until eventually a little star will be born. And if you're lucky, like we were lucky, soon after a solar system can form. Now, Orion is a great guidepost to other stars in our sky, particularly what we call an asterism. An asterism is a little bit different from a constellation. Constellations were agreed upon by the International Astronomical Union, and they are known worldwide. Every astronomer across the globe uses the same list of constellations. Now, an asterism is just a star picture. Whenever you're looking up in the sky, all you do is connect a few dots and then you give it a name. That's an asterism. Orion is a great guide to an asterism we call the winter hexagon. It's made up of 6 different constellations that you can find in the winter sky. To find these other constellations, we're going to start by drawing a line down through the belt of Orion, out into space to this really bright star here. Even on a cloudy, partially cloudy night, you may be able to spot this star peeking through the clouds, twinkling very brightly. This star's name is Sirius, and it's the brightest star in our night sky. Sirius is found inside of Canis Major, the big dog. Now, to find the rest of our winter hexagon, we're going to go in a giant arcing motion. Swinging up from Canis Major, we will come to this star named Procyon. Procyon is found inside of Canis Minor, the little dog. Continuing our swing all the way up through the sky, we will come to the stars Pollux and Castor. Now, Pollux and Castor in mythology were the twins who founded Rome. And these are the twins Gemini. Continuing our arc through the sky, we will come to Auriga, the charioteer. And swinging back downwards, we will come to this bright red star here. This star's name is Aldebaran, which roughly translates to the Eye of the Bull. It's found inside of Taurus, the bull. Now, on the back of our bull, we will find one more deep sky object. This one is much easier to see than the Orion Nebula. On the back of our bull, you will see what looks like a teeny tiny dipper. It's a collection of what appears to be 6 or 7 stars, depending on how good your eyesight is in the light conditions in your area. In ancient times, we called these the 7 sisters. But we know today, there are not 6 or 7 stars in this region. There are thousands. This is what we call the Pleiades. It is an open star cluster. Sometimes when stars are forming, they will get pulled together by gravity and move across the universe, kind of like a family. Now, the gravity amongst these stars is actually very weak, so they're beginning to spread out and away from each other. You can see a beautiful blue glow in our telescope view here. This is the light from the stars bouncing off what we call a reflection nebula. Zooming back out, we can now see the full picture of our winter hexagon with these constellations. But as we near the end of winter and we begin to look to spring, turning towards the east, we can spot some spring constellations. Just beneath the moon, or just above the moon here, this time of year, you'll see a backwards question mark that ends in a bright star named Regulus. Regulus means the heart of the king, rightfully named because it's found inside of the king of the jungle, Leo, the lion. And nestled just on the horizon here, just beneath our moon, we will find Virgo, the maiden. These are 2 very bright and easy to spot constellations during the springtime. But I would like to show you a few more constellations for some of our early morning risers, some amazing things that you'll see tomorrow morning. So we are going to advance time to our early morning sky. We're going to go to just before the sun rises. As we do, we're going to see more stars coming into our view here. Just above Virgo, we can find the star Arcturus, found inside of Boötes, the herdsman. And we're moving just before sunrise. At 6 a.m., there are a few more objects that we can see. So we can see at 6 a.m., Virgo is very high in the sky. We found Boötes as we were moving along. Now, an asterism that we find inside of Boötes, I often think it looks a little like an ice cream cone. And if this is an ice cream cone, one of the most tragic things that can happen on a hot summer day is a scoop falls right off the top. Our scoop that we find right next door is Corona Borealis, the northern crown. Very close to the horizon, looking directly south, you'll see a giant fishhook shape. Now, this is not a spring constellation. We're not going to see this one until closer to summer, but looking directly south, you can find the fishhook shape of Scorpius, the scorpion. This is a very bright constellation in our late spring, early summer sky. But what we're looking for are some planets. And very close to the eastern horizon tomorrow morning, there are 2 planets that we can spot. Now, when we're looking for planets, we want to start by looking for bright points of light. Planets often look like bright stars in our sky. But if we watch them for several seconds, you can see whether or not they appear to twinkle. Because stars are so far away from us, as their light enters our atmosphere causes it to wiggle, creating a twinkle in your eye. But planets that are much closer do not appear to twinkle in your eye. So if you find a light along the path of the zodiac in our sky, you can spot planets. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, we're going to spot this very bright guy here. And right beside him, we've got another little friend. These are the planets Venus and Mars. Venus, we often like to call our early morning star or our twilight star because it's very bright. It's usually the first or last object you'll see whenever it's in the sky as the sun is rising or setting. And of course, we've got our red planet friend, Mars, nestled right next door. And these 2 will be found inside of the constellation of Capricornus, the Myrrh goat. And if you happen to be up this early, if you wait just a little bit longer, you may spot a 3rd planet. At about 6:15, Saturn will rise into our early morning sky as well. Now, we've taken a look at all of our winter constellations. We've said hello to a few of our spring constellations and even spotted a few planets today. I think that is where we will end our stream today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our sky tour. Tune in next week for another bite-sized Buhl. I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you all again soon.